Namaste, welcome back to the mat. Today is all about beginners. So whether this is your first practice or maybe it's just been a while since you've made it to your mat. So I highly suggest if you have 2 blocks, it's gonna help with today's practice. And especially if you're still working on your flexibility, it's always a nice tool to have to help elevate the floor and bring the floor to you rather than having to try to reach the floor yourself. So we're gonna focus today on breath awareness in our body and transitioning from poses, all while building strength. So this is a class you can come back to time and time again if you're trying to build strength or maybe you just wanna take it a little slower. Awesome. Grab your props and let's go ahead and begin lying on your back. So first settling into your back and just notice if you enjoy the way that you've set down the body, and if not, make little adjustments. Anything you can do to make the body more comfortable. Allowing the arms to rest with some space between the arms and the sides of the body. And if you feel comfortable in your space, maybe closing the eyes. Just start to pay attention to the natural rhythm of your breath. Just observe the breath coming in and out of the body. Observe and notice the physical sensations in the body. Notice your energy level. Even become aware of your thoughts. What happens to the thoughts when we begin to slow down the body? Does our mind start to wander? Does our attention ramp up? So we begin to just notice these things with awareness, without judgment. If and when it feels ready, take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold the breath at the top and take an audible exhale out through the mouth. Let's do that 2 more times. Big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And 1 more with me. Big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good. Gently bring your hands onto your rib cage. And if it feels better, you can always bend the knees and place the feet flat on the floor. So we're gonna practice breathing into our back and side ribs. And if it's possible for you today, try sealing the lips and trying breathing in and out through the nose only. So as you draw the breath in, feel how the ribs expand and the hands move outward gently. And as the breath leaves the body through the nose, notice how the rib cage softens. Start to deepening the breath. See if you can kind of press the breath to those furthest most corners of the ribs and back body. Making each and every exhale complete so that you have room for a big, giant, deep breath in. So often in a vinyasa practice, we use the breath called Ujjayi, which is just meaning victorious breath. And you can add that in if you feel comfortable by just having a slight pull or constriction from the back of the throat, almost as if you were making an H-A-ha sound or kind of sounding like Darth Vader. So drawing the breath in through the nose, allowing it to hit the back of the throat as it hits the lungs, and then leaving kind of hitting that back of the throat as it exits through the nose. If that's not working for you today, just breathing in and out through the nose if possible. That victorious breath is really meant to start to ignite an internal fire so that we begin to warm up the body. Once you maintain awareness of the breath, just allow the arms to come out, turning the palms up, and take the feet wide to the edges of the mat. So notice I'm putting the pinky toes right there on the wide edges of my mat so they're lining up parallel. And I'm just going to windshield wiper gently the knees to the right. Notice that my left rib cage opens up. I'm getting a little internal rotation through my left hip. And then as you inhale, draw the breath in through center and windshield wiper the knees to the left, opening up the right side ribs. I'm just keeping my head and neck neutral. Just for these first few twists, just to breathe, opening up the side bodies. Inhale, bring the knees through center, and exhale to the right. Maybe this time you want to lift up the right ankle and place it on top of the left thigh for a little deeper stretch. Take another breath in. And full breath out. Uncrossing the legs, right foot meets the floor, knees go to the left. This time maybe the left ankle picks up and places it on top of the right thigh. My head's still neutral, not involving the cervical spine yet in the twist. Just beginning to open up from the mid-back down to the low back. Uncrossing the ankle, left foot comes down. Take one knee into the chest and then the other knee into the chest. And go ahead and give yourself a little hug and a little squeeze. Maybe take some gentle rocks. I love placing my hands on top of my knees and making little circles, rolling out the tissue there covering the low back. I take it in one direction and the other, noticing the variation in the feeling of the stretch as you move the knees further away or closer into the body. When you're ready, place both feet down. Let's go ahead and involve the neck in the twist. So take the knees to the right, maybe scooting the hips more to the center, and lift the head and look over to the left. Maybe that right hand assists, just giving it a nice, gentle little sensation on the left thigh. Just notice the difference of this twist. Maybe it's a little deeper. You feel it, a little different sensation in the body. Good. Taking another full, generous breath, trying to relax the head, neck, and shoulders as much as you can. At the end of your next exhalation, just bringing the knees in through center, shifting the hips again. Maybe they come a little bit over to the right so that we can start to stack the hips. And I'll take that twist to the right. To the left. Knees over to the left. I'm going to lift the head and this time look toward the right. And maybe that left hand comes in for an assist. Trying to make space between my ears and my shoulders. Just breathing and twisting. We're taking another full breath in and out. And we're already twisting to the left, so let's just go ahead and roll over to the left so that we can come on up to our hands and our knees. So finding a tabletop posture, hands and knees, we're going to take the knees and stack them just generously underneath the hips. The toes can be tucked or the feet can be flat. And then I'm stacking my joints. My shoulders are over my wrists. My fingers are spread really wide. So we're just going to start to articulate the spine. Think of leading from the tailbone. So begin to tip the tailbone up, relaxing the belly, drawing the shoulders down the back, gazing forward to the edge of the mat, and then maybe up a little higher. This is our cow posture. And then again, leading the motion from the tailbone, start to tuck the tailbone under, breathe space into the back ribs, press down to the arms, tuck the chin to the chest. Imagining an angry cat on Halloween. Taking another breath in here, really breathing into the back ribs. Good, initiating the movement from the tailbone again. We'll move through cow pose, breathing in, making it a little bit more fluid now. And cat pose, breathing out. Inhaling cow pose, breathing in, and exhaling cat pose. Just feeling the spine, trying to articulate, imagining moving one vertebrae at a time. Sometimes there's big chunks of the spine, and just noticing that as it moves. Taking a few more rounds, and then as always, if there's any movements that feel good in your body, maybe it's a sway of the hips side to side or a gentle shift of the ribs, always doing that. It's all about allowing it to feel good and to warm in your body. We're going to take this after one more full round, completing that cat pose, just coming into a neutral supported spine. So I have a slight engagement of my belly. I'm keeping my hips really neutral, and I'm going to find bird dog. So I'm going to extend my right leg, keeping my toes tucked, drawing the shoulders down away from the ears so I feel these kind of muscles underneath the armpits start to kick on. Keeping my hips as level as possible, squeezing the right glute to lift the leg, not super high where you start to wrench the back, but just feeling that right glute and the entire posterior chain on the right leg start to warm up. Reaching the left arm forward, finding a little balance. I know, it's difficult. Maybe you've not balanced on two limbs before, so notice the toes can always touch down, and then maybe you try that little lift again. Keep drawing the right shoulder down away from your ears. Keep reaching in opposition. My left arm's reaching like I'm trying to shake someone's hand, and my right leg is kicking back. I'm even shaking through my right arm. Beautiful. Take another full breath here. You're doing amazing. Bring the left hand down, bring the right knee down. Take the knees as wide as feels comfortable and start to sit the hips back toward the heels. So your hips may not meet the heels, which is totally fine. Trying to let the head rest. So here is another great place to grab a block that if you can place the forehead on something that it feels supported, it might feel a little bit better in your body. Just breathing in, allowing the hips to sink, allowing the head to rest. And breathing out. Taking another few rounds of breath. See if you can soften through the hips. See if you can feel this kind of hollowing of the armpits as you wrap the triceps, that's on the back of the arm, down toward the mat. Feel some expansion as the shoulder blades are spreading wide, finding some space in the upper back. Another full breath in here. And full breath out. When you're ready, you'll come back to tabletop hands and knees, and we'll kind of flush that out by just taking a few rounds of cat and cow. So kind of working through those two postures in a way that feels good for your spine today, and just kind of washing away that strengthening posture. So bird dog is a great one to really work contralateral movements as we work opposite arm and leg. It's also building strength in the core. So coming to that supported core spine again, I'm not dumping in the low back or in the shoulders. I'm going to extend my left leg long this time and keep the toes tucked. You might even feel a little stretching sensation through the back of the left thigh. So get organized here. Press down through the right knee, draw back with the left shoulder, and begin to float the left leg, squeezing the left glute a lot. And then bringing the right arm forward, reaching in opposition, trying to find that strength. Keeping the hips as level as possible. Draw the right hip back. Think of lifting up through the left inner thigh and reaching long through the right fingertips. Nice, finding that strength through the left arm. You're doing amazing. Just another few breaths here. Getting so strong. Take another breath in here. Child's pose incoming. On your exhale, right hand comes down, left knee goes wide. Chest comes down. Bring the head to the floor or to a block. Child's pose. Taking a breath, maybe even an audible exhale through the mouth, just taking it slow. And if your body is ever calling out for more rest, by all means take it, and you can just pick up wherever we are when you're ready to get moving again. Especially when beginning a yoga practice is just being gentle with the body, not forcing it into places it's not ready to go. Really nice. When you're ready, come back onto tabletop, hands and knees. And again, we'll find just a few rounds of cat and cow, moving and articulating the spine. We're going to start to work into our first downward facing dog. So my hands are a little wider than shoulder distance apart. For me, my shoulders are very tight, so I'm going to slightly turn my middle fingers out till about 12:30 if I was looking at a clock. I'm pressing all 10 fingers down and kind of gripping with my finger pads. I'm going to draw the eyes of the elbows forward so that I feel the shoulder blades roll down my back. Tucking the toes. Right here, I'm just going to try to hover the knees. Breathe. Looking forward in between the thumbs, pull the belly in. Cut. Staying here, take a rest. Nice. Let's warm up the wrist just a little bit. So I want you to rock forward and back on the wrist, bending in the knees. Maybe you can rock a little bit side to side, making little circles in one direction and then the other. Okay, we're going to take this down dog prep a little further. So again, drawing the shoulders down away from the ears, looking forward to the top edge of the mat. My toes are tucked. I'm going to hover the knees and bring them into my chest. Kind of pressing hard and strong through my legs, looking forward, drawing the chest between the shoulders, shoulder blades down the back, Maybe I can even lift the hips, strengthening the legs, making this upside down V. So this is a pretty short stance for me. I'm gonna step my feet wide and really generously bend my knees. So I want you to start with the fingers, start to grip the fingers and make a big separation between the thumb and index finger, so it's almost making an L and J. Then moving to the triceps, wrap the triceps down so you feel broadening through the upper back. Take child's pose anytime you need it, and then shake a few times the head and neck. So relaxing through the head and neck, notice there's space between my shoulders and my ears. Good, moving to the back, pulling the mid ribs in, breathe space into the back. I know this is challenging, especially the first down dog. We're gonna come to a forward fold soon. Pull the belly in. Think of pressing the chest toward the thighs and then lifting up with a generous bend in the knees, lifting the tailbone up all the way through to the ceiling. All right, let's walk the hands back to the back of the mat. Feet are about hip distance apart, or a little wider. So hip distance is generally about 2 fist distance, and if it feels better to keep your feet wider, by all means. So for a forward fold, you want to really generously bend the knees so that you're not putting too much pressure on the low back. All right, so this kind of hanging in space is not a forward fold, and you can really put a lot of pressure and tension in the low back, which we do not want. Again, if this is challenging for you, or the hamstrings are not feeling very flexible this morning or today, go ahead and place the block underneath the hands, still generously bend the knees and fold to your degree. So trying to keep a nice, long, straight spine. I mean, obviously there's a little roundness through the upper back as the head comes down to the floor. So I want you to work on generously bending the left knee and straightening the right leg just a little bit, almost as if you were drawing the right heel to the back of the mat. So you can start to feel a nice stretch through the whole outer leg of that right leg. Again, coming to the breathing in this first forward fold, so good for our heart, bringing all of that blood into the head. And then generously bend the right knee, straightening the left leg, feeling all that stretch out of the outer left leg, just warming things up. Good, controlling the breathing, in and out through the nose, bending both knees, hanging the head, maybe shaking it out, right and left, right and left. And then we're gonna walk our hands back out, and we're gonna come to a plank posture and immediately put down our knees. So again, my hands are a little wider than shoulders distance. I'm drawing the heart forward. I'm doing a plank on my knees, so I'm not totally on top of my knees, but I'm just a little forward. I'm gonna squeeze the booty in, strong belly, looking forward to the top of the mat, start to feel the strength in this plank. This is all we're gonna go to in our planks when we work through our sun salutations. So start to really feel the strength through the arms, feel the strength of the legs engaged so that it does feel a little light. If we get the whole body working, it's not as much pressure onto the hands. We're just here one more breath, and then child's pose is coming. Take another full breath in and breath out. Hips to heels, child's pose. Maybe even turning the palms up, letting the triceps wrap down, and an opening through the back of the arms. Know through our planks, we are working all of our stabilizing muscles through our core, which we need to help us walk around and open a car door and doing things all day that, we're not thinking about engaging our abdominal muscles. Also working the strength in the shoulders and the arms so that we can build up to that chaturanga push-up that we see so often in our vinyasa practice. Finding your way through downward facing dog. Again, start with the hands. Really grip down the fingers, start to hug the triceps down. Tucking the toes underneath, press the hands into the mat, start to hover the knees, hover the knees, hover the knees, and then lift the hips to downward facing dog. Pedal it out for a few times, and then walk your feet all the way up to the top of the mat. We're gonna keep our feet hip distance apart. We're gonna bring our hands on top of our shins. This is a halfway lift, and notice I'm really supporting my spine. I'm never kind of rounding and hunching in space. So I love to put my hands on my shins, draw the shoulders down away from my ears, look forward so that my neck is in line with the rest of my spine. Halfway lift, you feel the support, bracing the abdominals in. Nice, and then generously bend the knees a lot and fold. I want you to think of pressing down through all four corners of the feet. Pull the belly in like we're coming up through cat back, tuck the tailbone up and slowly round the spine all the way up. Finding Tadasana mountain pose here. Let the hands come down by the sides, turning the palms forward, which allows the chest, the pec muscles, and the heart to open up. Nice, I want you to just feel the feet. We're gonna work through 3 rounds of a modified sun salutation letter A, meant to reconnect with the breath, and we're gonna work on strength, building up to that full chaturanga push-up. Nice, so maybe lifting the toes and placing them back, feeling all 4 corners of the feet, feeling a nice strong posture. So checking in that my ears are over my shoulders are over my hips, and my hips are over my ankles. So sometimes our posture can be the biggest contributor to low back pain. It's something that we do all day. So if we're off in our posture, we're having that kind of repeat offender on those tissues, on that muscle. All right, taking another breath in. Maybe an audible exhale out, moving slow. When you're ready, inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, we'll do something called a swan dive. So I'm gonna bend my knees. I'm gonna find a flat back, reaching my arms out like wings. So I feel the strength as I come all the way down to the floor. That's our exhale. Place our hands on our shins is our inhale. Strong spine, embrace the abdominals. And as you exhale, bring the hands down. We're gonna step one foot, followed by the next to plank, and immediately lower our knees. Drawing the shoulders down away from the ears, squeezing the glutes. We'll take an extra breath here. And then I want you to bend the elbows straight back and lower all the way down onto the belly. Untuck the toes. Bringing our hands by our rib cage, squeeze the elbows in. This is our back bend, just a baby cobra. So press down to the top of the feet, press the pubic bone in, pull the abdominals in, and lift up using the muscles of the back, even drawing the elbows up toward the ceiling. God, placing the chin down slightly so there's no wrinkles in the neck. Taking another full breath here, feel all the back muscles working. We're gonna press down to our hands, brace the abdominals in as you come through child's pose, just for a breath. And then child's pose, we'll make our way to downward facing dog. Maybe this feels a little better. This is our 3rd down dog of this practice. Pedaling it out. We'll take 3 full rounds of breath here, just reconnecting with our breath. As always, if you need to stay longer in child's pose, it's built right into this flow so you can do so. Meet up with us whenever you're ready. One more full breath in. We'll complete this flow. As we exhale, we're gonna lift our toes forward and look in between the hands. We're gonna step our feet all the way up to the very top of the mat. Feet are hip distance apart. Finding that halfway lift. Again, inhale, brace the abdominals. Exhale and fold, bending the knees. Rounding the spine like cat back, press down to the feet. As you breathe all the way in, hands are gonna touch overhead, and we'll exhale to heart center. That's 1 round, we'll do 2 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold, strong spine. Halfway lift, hands to the shin, look forward, brace the abdominals. As you exhale, maybe we step the opposite foot back, followed by the other foot, bring the knees down right away. We'll take another breath here to check in, squeeze the glutes, draw the shoulders down away from your ears, look forward. And as you exhale, lower strong like a plank all the way to the floor. Untucking the toes, pressing the tops of the feet down, the pubic bone down, bringing the abdominals in, baby cobra, breathe in. Belly pulls in as you press to child's pose, breathe out. Just a full round of breath here, and we'll make our way to downward facing dog. 3 breath here is our landing point to just recenter, reconnect with our breath. Check in with our down dog, really drawing the triceps down toward the mat. Relaxing any tension through the head and neck. 1 more full breath. Completing the 2nd round as we inhale, look forward and step those feet all the way up. Bending the knees as much as you need that feels good for you. We fold on the exhale. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, fold, press down to the feet, round the spine, roll all the way up, hands kiss, and exhale to heart center, our last round. Inhale, reach. Exhale, dive and fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Bring the hands down as you exhale, step the feet back, automatically lower the knees, draw the heart forward, squeeze the booty. Lower down on your exhale, untuck the toes, press the pubic bone in, belly in, breathe in, baby cobra, strong through the back body. Exhale to child's pose. And then immediately coming to downward facing dog. Breathe. Maybe we'll take our feet really wide and about a foot's distance. So you can feel the nice generous bend in the knees. It's a little easier on the hamstrings. Cross your right hand over to your left thigh and begin to look under the left armpit, reaching maybe here on the outside of the calf, drawing the left hip back. Good, feeling the left tricep wrap down to the floor. Nice, right hand comes back. Left hand comes across the body, reaching somewhere on the outside of that right leg this time. Pulling the right hip back, twisting underneath, gazing under the right armpit, taking a breath. Good, left hand comes back. Take the feet and keep them really wide. We're gonna walk to the back of the mat again, and this time grab opposite elbows. Keeping as much bend in the knee as feels appropriate. Shaking out the head and neck. Beautiful. And when you're ready, just go ahead and wiggle those feet so that they're underneath the hips to support the body. Use the hands and we'll come all the way up to standing. Let's take it to the top of the mat. So standing at the top of the mat, we're gonna work through Crescent Pose. We'll begin the same. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale with a flat back, Swan Dive, forward fold. I'm gonna use my blocks here and place them at the highest setting. Placing my left foot back behind me, I'm gonna find Runner's Lunge. So I want you to really put the blocks where they feel supported, and I'm actually gonna wiggle my right foot over to the right just a little bit so I can work on squaring my hips. Go ahead and draw the right knee back so you can feel the outer right thigh draw back and the right inner thigh draw forward. I have a generous bend in my right knee. Using just the weight of my fingertips on the block, I want to pull my belly in to support my spine. Take a soft bend in the left knee and then squeeze the quad and glute a lot. Really fire up that back leg like you're pressing back through a wall. Nice, maybe you have a moment of putting the weight in the legs and just floating the fingertips. Support the back, breathe space into the low back. Take another deep breath in and lower the left knee, shin, top of the foot comes flat. Go ahead and take the blocks a little wider, straightening that right leg, wiggling it off to the right, work into just a gentle hamstring stretch. Again, find that same action of the inner part of the right thigh and big toe pressing forward and drawing the pinky toe line all the way to the back, around the back, outer right thigh drawing back. Softly bending the knee. Nice, bringing the blocks back in to support you. Rebend the right knee, tuck the left toes, and step up. Just take a forward fold for a moment, grab opposite elbows. Notice any changes, any difference feeling between the right and left leg. Slow the breathing. Again, come to the shins, find a flat back. And as you fold, hands come to the block, step the right foot back. Wiggle the left foot a little wider and generously bend the left knee. So same setup as before. Draw the outer left hip back to square the pelvis. Feel the left inner thigh drawing forward and feel strength. So really press down that left heel a lot till you feel the back of the left thigh working. Good, engage the right leg, so softly bend and then press long, like you're pressing back through a wall. Strong quad and strong glute of the right thigh. Maybe floating the fingertips for a moment, putting the weight into the legs. Strong legs, feel this hugging in sensation. Good, drawing the shoulders down away from the ears, really building strength in the legs here, foundation for all of our standing poses. On your exhale, softly and gently lower the right knee, untuck the right toes, blocks come wide, wiggle the left foot. Beautiful, so that's foundation for Runner's Lunge, which is the foundation for Crescent Lunge, which we'll do next, and that's the last of our standing poses, and we'll take it to the floor. God, reconnecting with that breath. Notice that I'm not trying to hunch, and even if that means the blocks are really close, and you find just a little hinge forward, feeling sensation on the back of the left thigh. Good, again, gently placing the blocks forward, rebend the left knee, right foot comes up, feet hip distance apart, take a forward fold, sway side to side. Maybe the legs feel a little bit more symmetrical and awake and alive. Beautiful, we'll take this to high crescent lunge. Find a halfway lift, lengthen, look forward, brace the abdominals. Hands down, left foot steps back, wiggle the right foot a little wider, and this time take a soft bend in the left knee. Go ahead and hover the fingertips, press down so hard to the legs that with a flat spine, you come and upright the spine. My shoulders are over my hips. I'm drawing the right hip back, left or right inner thigh is reaching forward, squeezing my left glute a lot, and then reaching my fingertips up. I'm gonna take them slightly forward, turning the fingertips slightly in, the pinky fingers in, so I feel length through the side waist. I notice there's a broadening through the back of the shoulder blades. Yes, I'm still here in the legs. You can always lower the knee if you need to. Keep pressing down to the floor. Feel the whole posterior chain of that right leg working. Feel the left glutes shaking with strength. Maybe even try just for a breath, straightening the left leg, getting a big stretch to the front of the left thigh. Slowly lower the hands. Left knee comes down, untuck. Take that hamstring stretch. Again, just hinging forward with a flat spine, flexing or maybe pointing the foot this time, feeling the difference as you can stretch through the front of the right shin. One more standing posture to go. Let's go. You've got this. Bend the right knee, left foot steps forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Good, hands to the block or floor. Right foot steps back. Wiggle the left foot a little wider. Find that setup. Hug the outer left hip in. Draw the left inner thigh forward. Feel the left heel draw down into the mat. Take a soft bend in the right knee. Pull the belly in and press down to the feet so hard that you upright the spine. Shoulders over hips. Reaching the arms up, slightly forward, and pinky fingers turning in so I broaden through the back shoulder blades. Really reaching up overhead to find length in the side waist. Maybe even straightening that right leg for a breath. Keep pressing down to the left heel. Notice the back of the neck is really long. Chin drops slightly. Really reach with those fingertips. Just a little breath higher. One more inhale. You're doing amazing. And exhale, lower the hands. Gently lower the right knee, untuck the toes, and wiggle that left foot wide. Really nice. Beginning to slow the breath down as we begin to prepare to make our way onto our back. So coming down onto our back, placing our props off to the side. Go ahead and roll down, hugging the knees into the chest. Taking the shins wide outside the rib cage now, feel the entire spine ground into the floor. Feel the back ribs press into the mat as you breathe into the back and side ribs. Let the belly be soft, let the shoulders be loose and relaxed. Then go ahead and place the feet down. We'll do one bridge pose just to seal in everything, all that strength through our posterior chain. The back of the body tends to be weaker than the front of the body. So feet are hip distance apart. I'm going to allow my hands to come down my body, pressing the feet down firmly. Begin to tuck the tailbone, press down for the feet and lift the hips. So I'm not letting my knees splay, but I'm letting my knees be right in line with the front of my hip bones. And I have weight on the back of the shoulders and the back of my head. There's no weight on my neck. My nose is straight up to the ceiling. Press down generously with the feet. Feel all four quarters of the feet. Feel the glutes and hamstrings engage. A little opening at the front of the body. Taking another full breath in here. And as you exhale, think of pressing each one of the vertebrae into the mat. Nice, generously open the knees, place the feet together, Supta Baddha Konasana. Take a few breaths here, an opportunity to slow down. We start to really slow the breath, signaling to our body that our practice is coming to a close. Maybe working even a longer exhale by 1 or 2 counts longer than the inhale. Relaxing through the buttocks and thighs. Almost imagining that there's little weights on the knees, just allowing gravity to take hold and open through the inner thighs. Just gaining control of the breath and awareness. Beginning to shift our energy from the work to the release. Using both hands on the outside of the thighs, gently bring them in together. Start with the feet about hip distance apart, and we're just going to work on this very gentle rocking sensation. Starting to loosen and soften through the low back. Imagining just shifting the spine gently from the base of the spine all the way up. So I'm rocking my knees side to side very gently, almost effortless, letting gravity take hold. I've offloaded the spine, just allowing these little shifts in pressure. I'm going to wiggle my feet a little wider and a little further away, eventually coming to that Shavasana shape, but just shifting the knees gently side to side. When you're ready to take them into that Shavasana shape, allow the legs to go wide, the arms to take up space away from the body. Maybe even lift and lowering the chest or the buttocks to find a more comfortable position for your spine. And then let go of any breath control. We'll work a brief systematic body relaxation. We'll scan from the crown of the head to the tips of the toes as we enter into our rest, our Shavasana. So bring awareness to the top of the head. And relax the crown of the head, the muscles of the forehead, the muscles in the eyes, those hard working muscles. Relaxing the jaw, unclenching the jaw. Relaxing the tongue, maybe back in the mouth. Relaxing the cheeks and throat. Allow this wave of relaxation to continue down to the chest and shoulders, allowing the shoulder blades to press heavy against the mat. Allowing the arms and elbows, wrists, and fingers to be covered in this blanket of relaxation. Relaxing the sternum, chest, the abdomen, letting all the muscles that surround the spine to relax further and deeper. Relaxing the buttocks and hips. Allow this blanket of relaxation to drape over the thighs, down toward the knees, shins, and calves. Allowing this relaxation to cover the ankles and heels, all the way down toward the toes until you feel as if your entire body is draped in this feeling of relaxation. Just gently bring your awareness to the natural rhythm of your breath. willingness of the breath to come back into the body. Wiggling fingers and toes, reaching long overhead, hugging the knees into the chest maybe, and finding your way to a comfortable seated posture. Taking as much time as you need. Once you get there, just allow the hands to rest somewhere along the body. Bringing your hands in prayer at the center of your heart. We end with the word Namaste. That simply means from teacher to student, student to teacher. I honor that within you. Namaste.